I stood outside my gate, my feet heavy, my heart heavier. The house was the same, but something was different. My hands, once soft with the weight of money, now trembled with the weight of shame. I knocked. The sound echoed in the night. No answer. I knocked again, this time harder. I heard footsteps. A voice, my brother's voice. Who is it? It's me, Tonderai. The silence. The door opened a little, just enough for him to see my face. His eyes grew wide, but he did not smile. What do you want? I swallowed. I need a place to sleep. He looked me up and down. My clothes were old, my shoes torn. I smelled of sweat and long walks, not of money, not of America. He hesitated, then called behind him, Mama, come and see. My mother's face appeared in the doorway. Her eyes met mine. They were the same eyes that once cried with joy when I left for America. Now they were empty. She looked at my clothes, my hands, my feet, and she shook her head. Where is your money? Gone. She said nothing for a long time. Then she turned away. You can sleep outside. We have no place. I wanted to beg, but pride held my tongue. I looked at my brother. He shrugged and closed the door. I sat on the cold ground, the same ground I had left behind when I flew across the oceans, chasing dreams. Now it was my bed. When I left for America, I was young, strong, and full of dreams. I told my family I would build you a house. I will send money. You will never suffer. And I did for a long time. I worked hard. I sent money. My mother built the house. My brother went to school. They praised me. They called me a great man. Then life changed. I lost my job. I made bad choices. One day, police knocked on my door. They said my papers were not right. I begged. I cried. But they put me on the flight and sent me home with nothing. No money, no house, just shame. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of food. I knocked again. My mother opened the door, but only a little. What do you want? Just food. She handed me a plate through the gap, salsa and vegetable, plain food, the kind we used to eat before I went to America. I ate in silence. I wanted to cry, but men do not cry. Days passed. I sat outside while my family ate inside. My brother walked past me in clean clothes, the same clothes I had bought for him. My mother hummed as she cooked in the kitchen I had paid for. One evening, my uncle came to visit. He saw me sitting outside and asked, Why is Tonderai sitting here like a beggar? My mother clicked her tongue. He came back with nothing. My uncle looked at me. Is that true? I nodded. It is. He laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. Did you think money was love? Did you think people love you for you? I looked away. He sighed and sat beside me. A man is not a wallet, Tonderai. You thought they loved you because you sent money, but they only loved the money. His words bent, but they were true. What do I do now? I asked. He pointed to the fields. You start again. The next morning, I went to the fields. The soil was hard. The sun was hot. My hands, soft from years of office work, blistered, but I worked. At first, my family laughed. My brother walked past me with his clean clothes and shoes and said, Look at the American farmer. My mother shook her head. You should have stayed in America. but my uncle helped me. He taught me how to dig, how to plant, and how to water. Weeks passed, then months. My hands grew stronger. My back stopped aching. My crops grew. One day, I sold my vegetables at the market. The money was small, but it was mine. I bought food. I cooked my own meal. That night, I did not knock on my mother's door. Months turned into years. I built a small house with my own hands. I married a woman who did not know the Tonderai who sent dollars from America. She only knew the men who worked the land. One evening, my mother knocked on my door. I opened it, just a little. She looked at me, then at the home I had built. "Tonderai," she said, "do you have food?" I smiled. I handed her a plate, salsa and vegetables, plain food, the kind we used to eat before I went to America. She ate in silence. I did not ask her if she wanted more. I did not ask her if she loved me now. I only watched as she finished her meal, wiped her mouth, and stood to leave. Before she walked away, she looked at me. This time, her eyes were not empty. I closed my door. I did not need her answer. I already knew. Years passed, and my farm grew. People came to buy my produce. My name was spoken with respect in the village. My wife and I had children, and they knew the land better than I did. One day, my brother came to see me. His clothes were not as fine as before. Life had changed for him too. "Tonderai," he said, "things are hard. I need work." I looked at him. I remembered the cold nights outside my mother's house. I remembered the hunger, but I also remembered the lesson the land had taught me. "Come," I said, "the fields need hands." He followed me, and for the first time in years, we worked side by side. Seasons passed. My mother's visits became frequent. She no longer knocked out of hunger, but out of habit. We sat together, speak of the past, of mistakes, of forgiveness. She grew older, and when sickness came, it was I who cared for her. One evening, as she lay in her bed, she whispered, "Tonderai, I was wrong." I held her hand. "I know, Mama." She smiled weakly. "But you were strong. You came back and you built again." Tears welled in my eyes. This time, I did not stop them. When she passed, the village came to mourn. I was no longer the forgotten son who failed in America. I was Tonderai, the man who had returned, the man who had rebuilt, the man who had found love, not in wealth, but in resilience. And that, I knew, was the greatest success of all. The land had taught me patience. It had taught me humility. And most of all, it had taught me that love is not measured in the money sent from across the sea, but in the hands that toil, the hearts that forgive, and the roots that never break, no matter how far the wind carries you away.